What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Vandy Blitz. It's great to be back. We have a lot of thoughts. Week 13 of the NFL just happened.
Yep.
But let's open up with the Patriots game. Patriots against the Bills. They win
By just
in a
running
great
the
game.
ball
Three
down their throats.
3 passes for Mac Jones. What do you guys think?
It's crazy because I remember seeing before the game a lot of people talking about, they just got to stop the Pats run. I did not imagine that they were going to run it every play besides 3 plays. But, Belichick, it's as much as it pains me to say, he knows how to win.
He knows how to win.
It's very frustrating as a Dolphins fan.
Did you see that statistic now? It was like an ESPN stat that was like Tampa Bay and Patriots are the most likely Super Bowl matchup.
10% odds.
Yeah, 10% odds, which is like, that would be really cool to get the Brady Belichick thing. But people are just forgetting all about like the Bills, the Cardinals, like a bunch of these other teams that are going to, I think, present significant obstacles for both of these teams. But nevertheless, it was a really good week for the Patriots.
And the Bills are slipping a little bit. They're 7-5 now. That they have a tough matchup this week, I believe.
Yeah, they play like a tough schedule. And they're the 7th seed.
Right, and so by losing to the Patriots, the Patriots are now the 1 seed in the AFC.
Which is huge. That's crazy.
And it also just amazes me that a team in this day and age of the NFL can win a game passing the ball
Throwing
three
three
times. Like, I understand the winds were crazy, it was snowing, all these other outside factors, but it's like as the Bills organization, how do you not realize like this is what's going to happen? Right? How are we going to prevent them from beating us?
I mean, eventually you got to think like, oh, he's only thrown 1 pass by halftime. Maybe in the locker room we talk about a new approach.
Should put 9 guys in the box.
Like, let's fucking jam the line.
You have head coaches is because they need to think through these things prior to the game.
So are you saying that
the
Bills coaching staff is not where we want it to be right now, and that's what's holding them back?
Not necessarily. I mean, potentially. I'm just saying I think that there was ways around, or not ways around, but ways of coming into the game, preparing for the game, thinking about the conditions at that field in Buffalo and saying, hey, it's windy, 40-mile-per-hour winds, it's snowing, it's cold, it's at night. They're going to run the ball 50 times. They're going to pass the ball 5 times.
It's hard, though. When you play Belichick, he's like the fucking headmaster.
But guys,
it's like President Snow.
It wasn't like a blowout. It wasn't like the blowout. At the end of the game, the Bills offense had a chance.
Yeah.
It was first and 10.
Bills lost that game.
And then
Bills lost that game. I wouldn't say the Patriots won that game. I mean, it was like that was kind of a messy game.
The Patriots defense was incredibly solid the whole game.
Yeah.
You saw at the end they won the game the way they did because they had such a good defense. They put the pressure on Josh Allen. He's a great quarterback, but he's not that good under pressure still to this day. It's one of his great weaknesses. So they had him running on his back foot. He didn't even set his feet when he threw. I remember seeing a documentary actually about how Josh Allen got so much better in that one season. He worked with a quarterback coach, and the big thing was he just wasn't setting his feet when he was throwing. Yeah. And that's just obviously there were so many other factors in that loss, but him on that last throw, kind of just backing up, throwing it. It was a shitty throw. It's like he and the Pats great defense. They have the guys that all across the field can just fly across and hit people, but they missed a field goal on the drive before. And that would have, and they were in field goal range again. They would have won the game had they made both field goals, but it was a windy game. It's just how it is.
It was interesting, and some things didn't go their ways. There was like a one-on-one where Diggs, where he dropped the ball, and then you can't do it. You can't have a holding, and then it's 3rd and 20. You should go for 10 yards. No, it's 4th down. They didn't do that. It was. I mean,
we saw a backslide, and I feel like for a lot of AFC teams, at least in the last couple of weeks, Ravens losing this week again. Is kind of what handed that seed to the Patriots in the first place, and then winning against the Bills is what helped them hold it. But the Ravens' loss is basically what allowed the Patriots to become the number 1 seed, and that's been a thing for the last 2 weeks. Is that the Ravens are just like, what's going on with the Ravens? You remember 2 weeks ago the Ravens where he throws 4 interceptions and Lamar looks like the worst fucking thrower in the league, and then they win and then they lose the next week when Lamar has a better game.
Well, I mean, the decision to go for 2, in my opinion, was just awful. I mean, listen, I totally support going for it, being spontaneous, but you don't do that when you're the number 1 team in the league and you trust in your offense to win it in OT. That's just my thought.
9 times out of 10, Andrews catches that ball. It was a fine ball. He just dropped it. But I get what you're saying. Yeah. That was crazy. If I was a Ravens fan, I would have been pissed. But if you go for 2, some people would have said, that was risky, but that like lets the world show that they're the number 1 team if it goes well.
And briefly going back to the Bills, they're actually playing the Bucs this week, so
That'll be an interesting
they
game.
could slide to 7-6, and before you know it, they could be out of the playoff picture. So,
or this could be a great referendum on the Bucs.
The Bucs are very injured. Like I could see the Bills getting this game, especially, and the Bills need it
They
way
might
more.
be fired up after this
they
Patriots.
do, and you never know. Weird things happen in the NFL, as we all know, as you know.
Right.
Yeah. I think this is a great time to transition this. Lions, first win of the season. Let's go. That's exciting enough as it is. But it's against the Vikings too. Like, come on. The universe is giving me too much ammunition here to throw back at Will.
Jared Goff played great. What went wrong is the Vikings just played very mediocre in the first half. Second half, there were time management issues.
Lions you can make all the excuses you want. Like, Lions are an NFL team. They're a good team. And you guys had the opportunity. You got the fumble. You scored. If your defense held up, you would have won the game like you win that game most of the time. But Dan Campbell, I feel like the coaching was there, the energy was there. It was like the Lions won the fucking Super Bowl after that. Did you see the sideline?
Well, the defense was very soft at the end, which was a bit surprising. I think the Lions, it was great for the city of Detroit after the shooting of the school. It was really a great uplifting thing for Detroit.
Especially after, they win at the same time as Michigan. As the Michigan OSU stuff, just a nice thing. But these Lions finally getting a win, it's nice.
They deserved it. I think Dan Campbell also is a great coach. He stepped in as the interim coach for the Dolphins, I remember, in one of our years. And he won games. They said that was his first win, I guess, as a full-time head coach.
Yeah.
But I remember when he was an interim, he's just such a fiery, awesome dude.
He's just amped
It
up.
seems like the locker room loves
so
him.
many interviews about him where he comes, he drinks 2 tall espressos every morning before he even gets into the locker room, or before he says his first word to the players. The guy is cracked out 24/7, highest energy in the room, and it works. And it gets a guy a group of guys that typically you're not going to be really that rallied up when you're 0-10 to beat a team like the Vikings, which are a solid team.
Vikings are a good team. They're not even a solid team.
And their season isn't bad.
Well, this is not a bad season. Kirk Cousins has been throwing the ball as accurate as anybody in the NFL. And I think it's just a good win to show that the Lions are not what their record suggests.
They should have beaten the Ravens if it wasn't a 66-yard field goal.
Agreed. And there's just a ton of shit that's happened week after week to this team where they lose by just a little thing, a last-second touchdown, them not being able to convert with 2 minutes left in the fourth. It's little shit like that. So it's just nice to see them get a game.
They almost lost
to happen at your expense.
They fully almost
that
lost
fumble
this
was a
game.
botch. That fumble was a botch.
It was very
It was surprising
reminiscent of their
going
past
for it,
games.
period, on 4th and 8, but it ended up working out. I think another thing to realize is a lot of teams that are 0-10-1 just lose the locker room. It feels like Campbell, these guys are motivated every day, and it's good for their future. It seems like he's the coach for the future.
They seem to have more energy than the fucking Bills that we're talking about.
As we're speaking about, Dan Campbell brings that energy, I think, on a day-to-day basis, and I think what ends up happening a lot is once you get to that 0-10 point where you're are we ever actually going to win a game? A lot of players, even the head coach, maybe starts to lose that faith and that hope, but I think he never has, and I think he does a great job of keeping the players uplifted and saying, hey, our first win is going to come at some point. I don't know when that is, or he's probably saying it's going to be this week. It's going to be this week. And every week the players are ready to go. They go to battle, and you see it in the games. They're not a team that just gives up and goes away. They will fight you to the end. In most cases, obviously in the 10 cases, it didn't end up going their way. But this one time when they fought the Vikings and won the game,
facts.
You know what I mean? So it's.
And he doesn't do a very good job of exactly what you said Dan Campbell does a good job of. Joe Judge, in my opinion. We should talk about
Oh, wait a
that
second.
right
What happened this week? Was there a Dolphins-Giants matchup or something?
There was, and I recall actually over the summer talking with Theo about this when they added that 17th week. And I said, yo, it's going to be awesome. Because I thought
it was Mike Glennon, though.
Correct. But I remember, and he's terrible. But I remember we were talking, and I was like, I'm going to really enjoy this free win at the end of the season. And you were like, nah, it's not going to happen, whatever. It turned out it wasn't at the end of the season, but it was still a free win nonetheless. The only thing I would say, though, is, listen, the Giants, only really worry I have for them is that they're like they've been rebuilding for like a couple of years now,
Dude,
and like now they're trending in like the wrong
I think
direction
they need
again.
to.
It's like you're gonna have to rebuild the rebuild.
I
which is
think
not
they
a
need
good
a
spot
clean
to be in.
house.
Agree.
I think they need a clean house. I think they need to draft a late round quarterback. I think Daniel Jones needs to go. And I think they just need to start from scratch and go from there.
Also,
I
I'm
think they
kind of
should get
worried
Nick
about
Foles next year.
Saquon.
Hey, this is that. I was gonna say I'm worried about Saquon too. Let's transition this into a little bit of a hot takes NFL section because I got a hot take for next week that I want to talk about. But I feel like what you're talking about is kind of spicy. So let's just preface this as this.
I mean,
is
I
a little-
think all of my friends back home, the majority of them are Giants fans, and we talk about this extensively, and everyone's under the same impression that we, as Joe was saying, there's no we are very capped right now. Without cleaning house, there's nothing that we could do. We're gonna have whatever 4 wins and however many losses, 13 losses for 10 years if we don't clean house. So I think what needs to happen is that to happen. And then
Solid defense.
Nick Foles, honestly, that would be great.
He's a free agent. You
Get
get him in a late
maybe
round quarterback.
something else like that and just sort of build from there. And the defense is not awful. The offense is all right. We need an O-line. Andrew Thomas is god awful. He did not work out.
I mean, he's still a rookie.
Sure, but
how much time you got?
there's
give
other
somebody?
guys
2 seasons.
that got picked at different positions and or turned out a lot better.
Oh,
So
Andrew
you're
Thomas
saying
hasn't played
Giants
well
need to
at all.
totally clean house,
He's
cut
playing
ties
well,
with
but
Daniel
not
Jones?
a third round
Do
pick
you
over
think they
the
hold on to
third
Saquon?
position.
Like, do they hold on to the core of their offense, or do they clean the coaching staff, clean their offense,
I
and
would
hang
trade
on to the
Saquon.
to the bare bones of their defense, which is their strength right now?
My problem with Saquon
I
is
trade
he
Saquon.
I've traded him
after
too.
his
I feel like
injury,
his
he's not
value is
playing the same.
exactly,
No,
and his value is as high as it's ever going to be now because he's only going to go further
He
down.
runs
after
east
that.
west. He's scared to get injured again. He's scared to get hit.
Understandably.
And at this
so.
point, I get it, right? But at this point, it's like he's not doing what he used to do.
And
Yeah.
And I don't think he's really that much of a help to the
and the
team.
receivers for the Giants, like the Galladay signing, like that was god
Dude,
awful.
what
They
happened?
can't do that.
What happened? Like Galladay
And
was
they
a
just
weapon
for-
on the
and they
Lions.
force-
and-
and they just like throw like I swear in the game against the Dolphins, like they were trying to target Galladay when he wasn't open. Like he was
Yeah.
Glennon would just throw it into double coverage. He is the worst quarterback like I have seen play like in a long, long time. You guys could have very well beat us. We did not have a very good week. We've been playing better than that, and I think we've kind of regressed that week. And I must say that Glennon had some throws where I was just like, you are saving us right now. I remember there was a play where it was like your third down coming out of your guy's own, like out of your guy's like 20 or something like that. John Ross had like an open crosser looking so fast over the middle. Glenn fully just threw it right behind him, like the worst throw, like just like the guy couldn't even catch it at all, and like the drive's over. It's just like those kind of plays like you kill the drive, like
Yeah.
because you just can't throw a ball. And then the same thing also happened. Like I mean, it was like giving me flashbacks to playing flag football and like realizing like like little kids would make these mistakes and like it would like kill a drive. Like this guy was literally fucking up so bad.
You heard it here first, guys. Mike Glennon belongs on an elementary school flag football.
He's a meme. He's a quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that he's starting on a team. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, the Giants are.
Our
I mean-
back, Jacoby Brissett is so much is
I made a
worlds
bet.
better than Mike Glennon.
I made a bet at the beginning of the year that the Washington football team would be better than the Giants throughout the year, and you know,
That's the best bet you could ever
yeah,
make.
and it's been hitting so far. So,
I think
the Washington football team.
dude, they're sneaky. They win games.
They're one
Another-
of those
another
teams
hot
that you
take.
can never go into and like expect to win. You
Well,
have
because
to,
they're
like,
gritty
grind
as
out
hell
and-
on defense.
Yeah.
They've got Heineke, who's just like the golden boy.
grit master.
Yeah, the grit master on offense. And they have some solid backs. Scary Terry, they've got a good. They're good everywhere. They're not great anywhere, but they're good everywhere.
guys,
That's why.
another hot take. I would just say that the Buffalo Bills win the next 3 games and they end up winning the division over the Patriots
That would be a cool narrative.
because they play the Patriots again, and I could see them getting revenge. Josh Allen, you still can't sleep on him. Brian Dable, great offensive coordinator. The Patriots are really good, but like Skip Bayless made a really good tweet. I know Mac Jones was only told to throw it 3 times, but even Brady, if he was a rookie, wouldn't throw it 3 times. He would like take the ball and take control. Like I think Josh Allen has that ability. Mac is just a time manager right now. Or
I mean, he's just Belichick's bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna be in your first year in
That's
his team.
I feel like that's sort of Belichick's coaching style as well.
But that's
He's
why
very,
Brady
like,
left.
this is my system, and I'm gonna put you into my system where you fit, and you're gonna make it work.
And that might be why Brady's gone. But my hot take for the upcoming week is that the Lions go on a winning streak and beat the Broncos to notch their second win of the season.
I could see it.
I think the Broncos are a good team this year. Not bad, not great, but like they're a solid NFL roster. And I think the Lions are just fired up after that win. They've had so many close calls this season. And I think after just seeing the way that locker room came together after being 0-10 and winning their first game of the season against like a division rival, they're going to be bringing energy into the next week. And I think that this Broncos team is just not prepared for that kind of like sort of moral push that the Lions are going to come in with. They're not prepared to like muster the moral push back. You know what I mean? I don't think the Broncos have that strength to be like, no.
Yeah.
And also the Lions offensive coordinator, Anthony Lynn, like before being the Chargers head coach, I think he worked in Denver. So like he knows that personnel.
Really?
Like,
He did, yeah.
like so
For sure.
there's a lot of experience there. And Detroit and Denver, like they only play each other every 4 years. So they're not that familiar with each other.
Yeah, they're definitely not. I agree.
Like that's where I totally see Detroit like not having a disadvantage. And the Broncos have been on a bit of a losing skid, I think.
I would definitely say,
they're calling this a must win for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Too, so.
I think they're gonna. Yeah, I don't see
The
the
only,
rise of the occasion.
I guess the only thing that I'm looking at is I would like to say the Broncos defense is probably the stronger.
Yeah.
Side of
I mean,
the
they lost
two.
Von Miller. Like Patrick Surtain's been great.
They're 6
Sure,
and 6. Like they're a solid team. They're like the Washington football team. They're a team that you just can't
I
count
put them
out.
in
And
my head
without-
with a gritty quarterback.
I put
thing
them
is-
lower as well, but you just can't count them out. It's that
The thing
it's
is, I don't know how
Yeah.
many like
Not good.
weapons the Lions have on offense. With Swift is out,
Swift,
right?
is he out?
Oh yeah.
I would rather
He's
have.
been out.
I would
He's
rather
out.
have Tyrod Taylor than Teddy. Bridgewater.
Goff is an all
I don't know
right
about
quarterback.
that.
He has his days, and then
Maybe.
wide receiver wise, I don't think they have any like.
Like they have
standouts.
Equinemius St. Brown. That's the best receiver. And
That's what
Tyrell
I'm saying.
Williams.
So it's like I don't know how they're gonna fare against a solid Broncos defense, but we'll see.
I would say for my hot take, it's gonna be that I think Packers are gonna go. They're gonna get the number 1 seed, which they don't have right now. They're number 2, so it's not that hot. But I would say that they're gonna go pretty damn far in the playoffs to at least conference championship. The only reason why I say this is because they're 9-3 now, and they're injured, and they're just getting healthy this upcoming week. I think they didn't have Bakhtiari
or Aaron Jones.
or Aaron Jones, or well, even without Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones
they
Dude,
did-
Aaron Rodgers lives in
They
the
didn't have
conference
Darius
finals.
Smith. They didn't have Jair.
Aaron Rodgers
Alexander.
lives in the conference
Their
finals.
defense is going to get a lot better over these next couple over this next week, and all they got to do is really let's see. They got to be stressed. Like I remember, just one of my friends sent me this, and I was like, okay, I gotta like shout out Henry Hunter for this little play. But basically, it's like they have a tiebreaker over the Cardinals, so they're definitely going to win that. And the Cardinals have to play the Rams, Cowboys, and the Colts, and the Packers are playing Detroit and Baltimore as 2 of their games. Like I with a slipping Baltimore and Detroit, who listen, they're good, but they're not going to beat the Packers.
They're not going to beat the Packers.
I see like I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to go far, maybe even have the chance to win it all. Like this is that last dance kind of type beat.
It is.
And
Yeah,
Devontae's
it
a
is.
free agent next year. Rodgers is gonna get traded to, I think, Pittsburgh.
We've got some good games coming up
Yeah,
this week.
That'd be
and to add on
Because
to your
Rodgers
point,
is a
they
free
have
agent.
the Bears this week, the Browns, the Ravens, or Bears, Ravens, Browns, and then the Vikings.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, the Ravens will be a tough game, probably. Bears shouldn't be an issue for them, I don't think, at home.
Definitely not.
I don't know. There's a
Vikings, I
division
think
rivals.
Vikings could put up a fight.
There's a
for sure,
different
they
kind of
always
thing
do.
when you play a division rival.
The
I don't know if
Ravens-
it's just an NFC
Sure, but
North thing, but it's
The
a
Packers,
No, it is-
the
it is
Packers
just
at
division
Lambeau,
rival,
the
you're right.
Packers at Lambeau is just like white on rice. You know what I mean? Like they just are so meant for that. They're playing the Bears. It's a division rival. They're 9-3. They're a good team. I just don't see them losing that game. And I think they're going to finish off very strong. And I agree with Joe. I think they're going to go deep into it.
How about the Packers playing in Baltimore in a few weeks? I think that's a
That'll
prime
be
time game.
Really tough.
It's gonna be a really fun matchup.
Yeah. No, that's.
But I think
Dude.
it helps that they're going to have Darius Smith and Jair Alexander back to
That's
help.
true.
I think the most exciting matchup that we're going to see this week, at least, is the Rams Cardinals, and I think that's one of the most exciting matchups of the season because I think that could very realistically be the NFC Championship. I mean, I don't know. Those are 2 teams like I feel like the Arizona Cardinals are sort of that Kyler Murray, sort of the younger, energetic, up and coming team, and the Rams are this veteran presence team
This is what
filled
the
with
Bucks want
absolute
so bad.
studs that are going to they're going to make some noise. They have Matthew Stafford. They have a refired up defense.
Cooper Kupp.
They have Cooper Kupp. They have all these weapons on offense. Like the Rams are going to do something this season. Cardinals are trying to prove themselves. I think this is going to be a super great primetime game. It's Monday night. And I think that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch how it goes because I think it has implications on the play.
I agree. I just think this is exactly what the Bucks want. Like they literally just won the Super Bowl and we're not even talking about them at all.
Dude,
They're
it's
just
like, what are you gonna say?
They're riding low under the radar.
We've said everything.
And they're just gonna and they could very well win it all. Like
Dude, Brady's leading the league
I
in
think
pass yards,
Brady's
pass
so
touchdowns.
composed, like,
It's
Brady
absurd.
playing a playoff game is like Brady playing a good, like him always playing good in the regular season. Like he will always play solid in the playoffs because he's been there so many times in his career. Like he probably doesn't give a shit anymore. The Super Bowl, he probably is like, just another day. And that means he's gonna play a lot better. Like he plays a lot better with that edge and everything. Like there's no pressure for him when he goes into these games. Like he's himself every single time. Like he's always solid. And like having that guarantee on a team is just something that not everyone can speak to. Like Aaron Rodgers, like people make fun of him for kind of being like the conference championship guy. Like you just said it. Like Tom Brady, like he has nothing to lose because he's already done it all.
He's already
He has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. And you're right that this is what the Bucks want because I could totally see him just getting another ring and us being like, how in the fuck is he still doing this?
Yeah.
Like, how is he still doing this? Let the NFL breathe a little bit, Brady. But I don't know. I think the NFC is this year is more packed with talent than it was last year. I think you have the Cardinals, you have the Packers, you have the Rams, and you have the Bucks, all with very realistic Super Bowl hopes. So
and
I don't know.
The Niners are climbing back. I know they lost this year.
I don't trust them as much as that top four, though. I don't know.
So going back to what I was saying, Brady won at the Super Bowl as a wild card team, playing 3 away games, and all the fans were back. Like Brady, I don't even he cares about the home field advantage, but it really matters more for inexperienced playoff quarterbacks like Stafford and Murray. Stafford's only played 1 playoff game. Murray's never played in a playoff game. You're really right. It's really, I would love another Rodgers-Brady duel because I think it'd be a great narrative.
See that being the
I could see it.
Super Bowl.
I could see it. Well, speaking of narratives, we had a big narrative in some of the college matchups that we saw this week. Michigan, OSU, Georgia, Alabama. What are your thoughts on those games, and how do you see the college football landscape playing out over the next couple weeks?
So OSU, I mean, I know Wilf does too, has a lot of friends in Michigan.
My sister goes to Michigan. She was at the game and she was like,
what happened in Cincinnati?
They're going to be the number. This is just for they're going to be the number 4.
Cincinnati's the 4.
Cincinnati should make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, they already have.
Okay.
I'm just talking about the matchups this last week.
We're talking about Michigan being Ohio
State. But Michigan, I think if they had lost this game, that would have been 10 in a row. It wouldn't have been a rivalry anymore. Like they needed to win this. For Harbaugh's career. He would have probably been fired.
Dude, I mean, when I heard they won, I was like, no way, Harbaugh got one?
Yeah.
Let's go. Like I was just excited for Harbaugh's coaching narrative.
And then they steamrolled Iowa.
I know, let alone
that was good.
That was, and all that.
Like
I don't know. That was just a really fun game to watch. And I think Georgia Alabama was also one of those games where a lot of emotions were brought in because we were like, Alabama's falling apart. This is Nick Saban's year where he's gonna get dethroned. Like he's not the big guy in the SEC. That's us. That's Georgia. And then you just sort of get humbled and you see what the real things are. But I don't know. Like Georgia, Alabama. I thought Georgia was going to win going into that. I was a little surprised.
It's
a tale as old as time. It's Belichick and Brady in the NFL, and it's Nick Saban in college football. Like
also the thing with Bama and Georgia, they could be playing each other in about 3 weeks. If Georgia beats Michigan, which they're favored, and Alabama beats Cincinnati, it would be a rematch. And I didn't think they would do it, but that would be pretty crazy.
Because if they had lost that game, they wouldn't.
Wait, where's Michigan playing? No, yeah, Michigan's playing Georgia and the Orange Bowl.
So if they had lost that game, Alabama, they wouldn't even have been in contention for the playoffs, right?
I think it would have been.
It would have been out.
They would have been out.
They would have been 10-2, I think.
Or they would have been out, and I don't know what they would have done. But I was surprised going back to OSU. Like they've been solid this year. Michigan hasn't been top 5 in so long.
Yeah.
Like at least 10 years, it feels like. And going back to Michigan, their defense is finally good. They have Haskins, which is their running back, which is ironic because Dwayne Haskins played for Ohio State. Ohio State really didn't have a chance the entire game. Like,
It wasn't close. It wasn't close.
CJ Stroud did not play the same that he usually does. And when you're just like in a game where it's like a blizzard and you're just pounding the ball down their throat every fucking play, like that was great. My friend like cried at the game. He was so happy. He was like, I've never watched them win before. And like that was the most satisfying way I've ever seen them win a game like in my whole life.
That's the other thing about like college football is like we were talking about the Bills Patriots game of like the Patriots just shoving the ball down the Bills' throat in the run game. I feel like in college games, that's something that like you can't even plan. Like it's just if you have a running back that's so dominant, he will run all over the
True.
right? And like you
Michigan's
see it.
line too is just a bunch of big ass
Huge.
guys.
These guys just put up huge numbers in college because like they have sicko lines, they have a great scheme, right? And they just can run all over teams. And I think it's just interesting dynamic to see.
No,
in
yeah,
college
it
football.
is for sure. No, yeah, there was a lot of good sports to watch this week. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming up. We got, the big league sort of culminating with the Super Bowl coming soon and NFL playoffs. That's not like soon, but it's something to look forward to. We've got the national championship to look forward to.
College basketball ramping up.
Oh yeah, there's lots of stuff. NBA is getting in full swing. There's lots happening there. There's sports to watch every single night. So stay tuned. We will definitely be here to bring you more sports stuff. We'll be doing some Zoom calls over break when we're not all together. And without finals and stuff, we should have a little bit more time to be watching the minutia and details of the game. So stay tuned for some of that analysis.
I just want to say something right now. I think the Mets are going to win the World Series in 2022.
It's a pretty hot take. I like it.
He's calling it now.
They just signed Scherzer. Their batting is really good. They needed work in the bullpen, and they got Scherzer.
Let's make this interesting. If that's true, I'll give you
$100
on tape right now. If that's true, $100.
And even though we're not bowl eligible, we will be studying for finals this upcoming week. And I hope you all are doing the same back home.
That's us Vandy boys. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more episodes, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Sweet.
I don't think
genuinely think the Mets can win it.